Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to the Andrew Finney Show, where we help you make sense of real estate. A couple of things as we get going here. If you have a question during the live session, please go ahead and use the chat function and go ahead and ask your question. We'll get to it in turn as quickly as possible. The other thing that we do for reference is we go through the last week's comments that came in on the channel, and we go ahead and address all those questions and answer them as well. Again, thank you for being here. I'm your host, Andrew Finney, and I'm looking forward to the questions that you have today. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we had Lynn Blanton that contacted us 6 days ago from the last live session. Lynn had said, thank you for all your help. We just closed on our first ever home. Your videos helped us all the way through each step of the process. We bought a new construction, wouldn't have been able to decipher all of this on our own. Thank you so much, Lynn. That really means a lot. And I'm glad that the videos were there to help you and your family purchase your first ever home, and wishing you many, many happy years in your new home full of love, wealth, abundance, and happiness. Robert Taylor, hi. Thank you so much for being here today. If you have any questions, just let me know. Elizabeth Trainer commented on 12 negotiation tips when buying a house. She had initially contacted me 5 days ago and then also sent in another message today about 4 hours ago, according to YouTube here. So 5 days ago, she had said what she took away from the negotiation tips was the appraisal contingency that a buyer has and also the repair request. And she said, thank you. So then she commented earlier this morning about the bank wants to do an appraisal before the loan. Should we do our own appraisal before the bank does there? So I got a couple of different thoughts on that, Elizabeth. The first one is if you're the buyer, Matt, hi, thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, I got all your wonderful comments this morning. Really, really appreciated them. And we're going to answer those questions and comment on them later in today's episode. Okay. So Elizabeth, what I was thinking is that if you were the buyer, then of course the bank is going to do an appraisal before they issue the loan for you. That's number one, and it wouldn't matter because that would be your appraisal. Now, the way that you had written that comment, it almost sounded like you're the seller and now you're wondering if you should do your own appraisal before the buyers. I would definitely say no, because if you're already in the closing process, then it doesn't matter. The bank is going to use their appraisal from the buyer, not the appraisal that you might have hired. Now, if you would have done an appraisal prior to going on the market, that could have been a genius idea, and it would have been absolutely brilliant just to double check the pricing strategy that you had going onto the market. Clearly, the pricing strategy that you had, though, worked since you're in the closing process. So either way, congratulations. But just be aware that once you're in escrow, the buyer's appraisal process is going to be the valuation that is used for the property, even if you did your own. So I hope that answers your question, Elizabeth. If you're here live today, please let me know. Or if you're watching this after the fact, please let me know if this answers your question. Brunhilda Morris, hi. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here today. Matt, cool. As usual, I can't comment too much, but I'm listening. So you're at work, right, Matt? So, hey, thank you for being here. You're very consistent. Really, really love you always being here, Matt. A breath of fresh air all the time. Thank you. So then we had a comment come in from iamashful about 5 days ago about the 7 must-dos before buying a home. And it was kind of funny because I made a comment in there, and to put this in the appropriate context, I was talking about the difference of a loan pre-approval letter and also the loan pre-approval letter. There is a big difference. So I told with one of them being a loan pre-qualification letter, in that video I made the comment that you can essentially wipe your ass with it because it ain't worth a damn thing. And that's as frank and as funny or whatever you want to take it as, just to be real with you, because it's really not worth anything. And if you're wondering what the difference between a pre-qualification and a loan pre-approval letter is, it's simple. The pre-approval letter is whenever the loan officer verifies your income, your assets, your credit, and your employment situation. So how are they going to verify your income? Well, they're going to need your the last 2 years of your tax returns. They're going to need 2 months bank statements, and they're going to need 1 month pay stubs. That's how they're going to verify the income. Then they're going to verify any of your asset accounts that you may have, like retirement accounts, 401k accounts, what have you, right? And then they're going to, of course, they're going to check your credit, and then they're going to verify that you're actually employed with whom that you say that you're employed. If a lender has not gone through that, then you do not have a loan pre-approval letter, no matter what they call it. If they want to play a game of semantics, it's okay. Unless you've given that information to a local loan officer and unless they have verified it, it's not a loan pre-approval. And it's very important to be clear on that, because the number one reason that most homes fall out of contract are due to financing issues with the loan officer not doing their JOB. And it's very unfortunate and something that can easily be addressed early on before there's any real damages done when you get into contract and now your earnest money deposit might be on the line, or you've already spent money on the home appraisal and the home inspection and become emotionally attached to the property that you're on. It's not cool, hence why I make that video and hence why I talk about it so much and the live episodes when it comes up, and also through all the home buying tips and real estate advice episodes that I make when we're addressing pre-qualification versus pre-approval. So I think we kind of beat that. Oh, by the way, and I'm going to throw this out there again, don't get teased and don't be fooled by those online adverts, radio adverts, or even the television whenever somebody says they get pre-approved in like 5 to 15 minutes. It's just not the case. You've got to get that information together that we covered a moment ago to be able to get a true bona fide pre-approval letter. The best way to get your pre-approval done is to work with a great local loan officer that's going to take the time and is going to treat you with the respect and dignity that you deserve. So we had Brunhilda, thank you, really appreciate you. Crypto Bling, hi Andrew, hi Crypto Bling, thank you. I got your comments the other day, really appreciate you being here, and I always appreciate your feedback and comments. It's always inspiring. Jamie Beth, just wanted to say thank you. Closed on my first home a month ago. Navigating the real estate process was intimidating, but your videos helped immensely. Jamie Beth, I am so happy that the videos were here and that you were here to watch them and that they helped you be able to close on your first home. I'm super excited for you, and I'm wishing you and yours a lifetime full of love, wealth, abundance, and happiness. I say it all the time. I just believe in creating positivity and inspiring other people to hopefully do the same. Jamie, you really made me smile today, and thank you. And I'm glad that you took so much away from it. Now, please go share this channel and videos with other people so that they can also have the information they need to be able to purchase their new home as well. Thank you so much, Jamie, for being here today. Okay, then we have Chris J. He was commenting on what to look for when buying land. So this last Saturday's episode, he says, good stuff, but you talk too fast. Please slow down. So I'm working on it. I don't know if some of you might have caught my live episode that was highly impromptu this past Sunday. I had commented about Chris J's comment too. So look, being completely real with you, I do speak fast. I think that part of it's probably because I listen to so many Audible books, and I never listen to them at a listen speed of 1. I always listen to them like 1.5, 1 3/4, sometimes even 2, because it's what keeps me engaged and keeps me focused on what's being said, and it helps me retain the information better. So as a byproduct, not making excuses or anything, but I think that that might rub off on me in my rate of speech whenever I talk normally. So I really do appreciate any kind of constructive criticism or constructive feedback that comes in from our community, because I do take it seriously and I'm here to improve myself as a person and as a professional. So thank you for bringing that up, Chris. On another note, you may have noticed that in the more recent videos, there's probably a bit slower than normal. So I've been focusing on my rate of speech and actually slowing it down artificially and editing just a little bit to try to make it easier for most people to understand. Matt Nelson, I don't mind, didn't notice it. To each their own though. Yeah, that's true, to each their own. It's just when I see something recurring in the comments, then I try to address it. It's the same way that, you know, whenever I started making the videos, I thought it'd be a great idea to put soundtracks in behind them. I thought it'd be making it more engaging. And that, hey, you know, the reason that I thought that is when we watch television, there's always music in the background. So I thought that that could happen, and I thought it would work. But evidently, YouTube is a different audience, different platform, and people don't appreciate it as much. So I've really scaled it down. Crypto Bling, if you're buying a property from a tax sale, what do you recommend a buyer to review? The same things that you would always review, Crypto Bling. That's a great point, though. If you're buying a property from, hi Liz T, hi, I'm in Florida. Hi Liz, thank you for being here from Florida today. So Crypto Bling, if you're buying a property from a tax sale, you still want to do your due diligence. You still want to look over the property and make sure that's going to be a good investment for you. You need to run your numbers, run your capitalization rate, make sure that that's going to be a worthwhile investment for you. Depending on the nature of the tax sale and depending on how your buyer due diligence may work, or if they're just offloading it as is, make sure that at a minimum that you or a representative of yours drive past the property, take additional photos to make sure that everything is in congruence with your business plan. Sorry, sometimes I get a little bit stuttered when I see the comments come up at the same time. Okay, Crypto Bling, also, I don't think you're talking too fast. I think it shows your depth of knowledge and experience that comes out when you speak. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, normally I'm trying to keep everything as succinct as possible and condense the videos. I don't want to rush the videos when I make them, but I do want to get all the information out and try to keep it as succinct as possible. I think there's a lot of really powerful information, especially if people are watching the videos from start to finish, that they're going to pick up on and that it's really going to benefit them. So I power pack every one of these videos in between whatever I'm talking about and actually real world experience of helping over 120 and counting families now purchase land, multifamily properties, investment properties, condos, townhomes, single family homes, whether buying them or selling them. I've been very fortunate in the last 5 years to essentially hustle and work my tailbone off to be able to get that business opportunities, and I want to share the experience. So I really appreciate that. Now, Crypto Bling, back to your tax sale. I hope that that answers your question. Let me know if it does, or let me know if you need some more guidance on that, because that's something that if you need more information, then you can hit me up after the fact on my information, send me an email or something, and we can talk about it if you need more information, and then I can get a better perspective of what you're looking for there. Okay, so the ACE group had commented on this last Sunday's highly impromptu live session, a day in the life of a realtor. They said, thanks a lot, Andrew, for being so selfless and inspirational. Thank you, ACE group, for being here, and thank you for your wonderful comment. It does inspire me knowing that these videos are helping you, so really, really appreciate you. Liz T, Hurricane Michael is passing, but I'm listening. You know, Liz T, my heart goes out to you guys. I definitely have some other people that are looking at moving to Florida, that are in Florida, other agents and friends that are over there in that area. So I really wish you all the best, and to please be safe. Liz T, thank you for letting us know as of this moment, Hurricane Michael is actually passing through Florida. Please be safe, and thank you so much for being here despite Hurricane Michael at a Category 4 storm going through the Florida area right now. Definitely hoping all the best for you guys. You might want to check out some of the other videos that I've made about disasters and how to prepare for them and what to do after them. That's why I came up with that. You might have noticed, some of you may have noticed the last 2 or 3 weeks, I started creating more and more content about things to look for buying a house after a disaster, if you own a house, the steps to take after disaster, and also how to file insurance claims after a disaster. It's content that I think is extremely beneficial to you, and all the links that you would ever need are in those show more descriptions. And I'm really hoping that people get the right answer in the straight scoop, because we all know scammers and spammers and everything else come out after a tragedy. So does the best of humanity, though, wanting to help people and inspire people and band together, because we're always stronger together than we are not. Liz T, yes, thanks. Thank you, Liz. Okay. So as Liz is over there watching this episode and Hurricane Michael's rushing through, let's get back into some of these other comments that we had coming in. Tinandel commented on new homeowner tips, 8 things to do first. Tinandel says, I'm lucky. I'm in the middle of buying my first home, but I'd like to go for a brand new construction. I think things like changing locks, toilet seats, and deep cleaning will be thoroughly moot points for me. No one but the builders will have had access, and no one will have used the place prior. Still a good list to review, though. So, Tinandel, thank you for watching that episode. Now, you may be a little bit surprised. You still may want to do a deep clean on a new construction. Sometimes there's going to be dust and everything, or a little bit of overspray from some of the paint. Ideally, you and your trusted real estate advisor do that walkthrough for the blue tape meeting prior to the new home orientation, and you point those things out to get it clean. Even then, sometimes there's still a little bit of dust or something in the house that may bother you, or it may not bother you. So it just really depends on you. But the fortunate thing is that, yeah, you got brand new toilets and toilet seats, so you don't got to worry about that, nor the locks or anything, because you're the first owner. So congratulations, Tinandel, on getting ready to close on your first home. Super excited for you. Brandon Mendoza commented on this last Sunday's live episode, Day in the Life of a Realtor. He says, nice. Next month, I'm going to start filming whiteboard videos as well. I'm super excited about it. For reference, Brandon Mendoza is actually another real estate agent out of Texas. I believe it's the Austin area. You might want to hit him up if you're in that area looking for real estate. Super cool guy. He's been watching the videos quite a bit, and I've had a few conversations with him aside from YouTube. Really nice guy, very knowledgeable, very professional. Then he sent me a link saying a little whiteboard inspiration. If you guys want that, then I can put it in the show more description after this episode in the timeline. If you're curious about whiteboards too, I can just share the link that Brandon was sharing with us. Brandon, thank you for watching, and thank you for the suggestions and help. Matt Nelson had also commented on the same video saying, great video. Thanks for all you do. Really appreciate you, Matt. And I also really appreciate you helping me out a little bit on the Snapchat thing. That's always kind of interesting. So, yeah, I'm trying to get, not Snapchat thing. What is it? See, there's so many different social medias out there. I get confused. So, yeah, the Instagram thing. So I am very brand new to Instagram and still working on playing with it a little bit. So, you know, I really appreciated your help and getting me started a little bit with the content that you sent me and helped me out with that. So Matt Nelson says, speaking of deep cleaning, I cleaned my apartment super good before moving out. My ex LL asked me for a forwarding address. So there was cleaning. I haven't responded. My address is forwarded anyways. I have 70 pictures hoping they just leave me alone. Yeah, they probably will. You know, if you have 70 pictures before and after and everything, Matt, you should be okay. Just, you know, it is what it is. You deep clean the property, they're always going to try to come back for something. But as long as you can prove that you did it and that there was no damage to the property, then you should be good to go. So then Matt had commented on 11 reasons why your home isn't selling. And he said, there were tenants when I went to my showing, but my agent made sure to get them out on time. However, when I went for my inspection, they were still there and they left in a few minutes, but it was still awkward. Yeah, Matt, you're right about that. Anytime that you're walking into a property and you're going to buy that property and it's tenant occupied, it's pretty crazy because it is kind of awkward. I mean, it's awkward enough sometimes when it's the seller that's there, but it's a lot more awkward when you got the tenants because it's just that third wheel. It's like being a third person in a room when it was only meant for two. So it's important to note that. So I'm glad that you're working through your closing process though, and everything's moving forward with you very smoothly. Brandon Wilson commented on the pros and cons of a joint mortgage for first-time home buyers. He says, thank you, Andrew. Well, thank you, Brandon, for watching, and I'm glad that that video was helpful to you. Okay. Okay, Matt, so you said that you don't have the before pictures from your apartment and they haven't sent you a bill yet. Oh, well, they shouldn't be sending you a bill because you did everything. And if you have those pictures at least showing what the condition was, then they should know the condition that it was in before you rented it. You would have signed something with that leasing agent, matter of fact, saying that you were receiving the condition of the property. So Cynthia Hunter had watched Day in the Life of a Realtor. Andrew, your videos are succinct and educational. Even if a person is not located in your coverage area, they can learn a lot by watching your videos. Cynthia, thank you so much for your support, and thank you so much for the wonderful comment. Really appreciate you, and really appreciate you commenting on that episode. LewisHelps commented on pros and cons of a joint mortgage for first-time homebuyers. He says, great info. Thanks for sharing. Lewis, thank you for watching, and I'm glad that video helped you. Teresa Smith commented on 20 questions to ask a listing agent when selling a house. Teresa says, really good, concise summary. Thanks for your generosity. Well, thank you for watching that video. Please share it with somebody that you know it can help. That's definitely 20 very powerful questions to ask a listing agent and some additional information. Tomorrow's video about home selling is actually the 11 worst home selling mistakes that a seller is probably making. So that's going to be another extremely powerful, extremely real, keeping it at 100 type video. So I really hope that people get wind of that, because here's the deal. The market's stabilizing across the country. And while the sellers may have had it good the last 2 to 3 years with it being such a strong seller's market, as we head into a stabilization point, they're going to have to become more negotiable, and buyers are going to have a little bit more opportunity. It doesn't mean that it's still not a seller's market, but it does mean that it's going to take homes a longer to sell, and sellers are going to have to up their game to get their home sold. So it's not like they can just pop a house up and it's going to sell, because even in the strongest seller market that we're coming out of right now, it still didn't work then, because I was still noticing, at least here in Las Vegas, Nevada, a third of all homes that went up for sale came off the market without selling. And looking at some of those photos, it kind of, there was a reason why. You feel me? So, all right, so let's move on. So we had Windycitygirl63 Sanford had commented about day in the life of a realtor. She says, what advice would you give a newly licensed realtor on how to get new listings and buyers? Enjoy your videos. Windycitygirl63 Sanford, thank you so much for your comment and for watching that episode. If you're asking me from a business dynamic, what would I recommend to you as a new realtor to help you get opportunities with listings and buying families? Well, it's simple. I really begin with breaking down who you already know in that area and breaking down any family or friends, put it into an Excel format, put all their contact information in it, get yourself a CRM. I'd recommend Follow Up Boss. It's one that I use. I love Follow Up Boss. It makes it really easy for me to share the videos from YouTube. It's probably one of the reasons that I love them so much. And they make it extremely easy to come up with action plans so that you can make sure you're keeping in touch with people and following up with people. That'd be number one. Start with the people that you know. The second thing that I would advise is that if you want sellers and you want to work with people that are looking to sell property, the one best way that you can approach people is to either do is two ways. The first one is you can pick up the phone and call them. And I know that that turns off a lot of people that are thinking, I don't want to be the person that calls somebody else and then I'm getting cursed at because I call them because they don't know me and I'm just that salesperson, right? It depends on your mindset and it depends how you look at it. Look, when I pick up a phone, I'm not a salesperson. You can call me whatever you want to call me, but all that I call myself at the end of the day is all that it really matters. And that's a trusted real estate advisor that's here to help people and help people succeed and get the word out about how to appropriately do things in real estate that are going to cause them to succeed and help them along the way. So it's all about your mindset and the intention that you have going into a phone call. My mindset and intention whenever I pick up a phone to call somebody I might not know is very simple. I want to see if there's an opportunity that exists that I can help them. And quite frankly, I don't know if there is until I talk to them. And even after talking to them, I still won't know, nor will they know until we meet up in person. So it's just about using a phone to get an opportunity to meet somebody if somebody has an interest. But I always approach every call from a perspective of providing massive value to the other person, if at all possible that day. At a minimum, I want to make their day brighter. Hopefully I can make them smile, maybe laugh, and have a good time. Now, providing value to them could be offering them market reports around their area, letting them know that I probably got something on my website that's really going to benefit them as far as keeping track of their hyper-local area right down to their subdivision with what's going on in that area if they want to use it. And also, in my case, I have a lot of YouTube videos that they also could appreciate, whether they don't plan on selling. There's homeowners. There's a homeowner series. Then if they plan on investing, there's that. And then if they are thinking about selling at some point in the future, then there's obviously a lot of content that I've made about home selling. As far as reaching out to buyers, buyers normally will begin their home search online. So having a good online presence will go a long ways to assisting you and having home buying families reach out to you. Since you are a new licensee, I know it can be very, very difficult getting started in the business. Look, I was that agent that quite literally I moved to Las Vegas and I had what was called a sphere of influence of one, and that was my dog. And he wasn't exactly helping me gain business opportunities, but to get the word out and learn how to help people, right? So what I did is I was that agent that called 33,000 people. I spoke to about 7,000 of them. I door knocked on 5,000 doors or so, and I struck out on 24 listing appointments that I set for the first 6 months. The number one reason I was striking out wasn't because I didn't have the drive. It wasn't because I didn't have the passion. It's not because I didn't know and I didn't learn and do everything that I needed to do with all kinds of research and education and know the process of how to make things happen. It's because I didn't really, coming out of the Marine Corps, it's kind of funny. It's like I was no longer human. And I was more robotic than I ever thought that I was. And especially after the combat tours and stuff, I had become highly unemotional, and I had come and I was projecting myself and presenting myself in an entirely different way than I intended to. And it was a shame because my desire was really there to help them and I wanted to help them. And it's something that I still struggle with now with the smiling and stuff. I want to smile, but the only way I can normally make people smile and have a natural smile as opposed to like something off of Sheldon off of Big Bang Theory where it's like, right? Where it's that weird look, is to make somebody laugh. And that was one of the ways that I learned to connect with people. And once I learned to start connecting with people, that's whenever I became a top agent over the next 6 months, helping 17 families, that first 12-month cycle, helping 17 families either buy or sell a property. And it was because I learned to connect. The way that I worked with, and what I would do is I would simply be honest with them. Hey, you know, my name is Andrew Finney. I work with, back then it was Prudential Americana. My name is Andrew Finney. I work with Prudential Americana. I'm new to real estate, and I certainly appreciate the opportunity to work with you or someone that you know that would like to buy or sell a home. And that's what I did. And here's the deal. People gave me the opportunity. And whenever I got the opportunity, I just made sure I did everything that I could to do everything right. And I focused everything that I had, all my energy, into doing the absolute best job for them. And that's all that mattered. And then the rest is history over the last 120 and counting families that I've helped. So it's all about getting started, but being honest with yourself and being honest with the people that you represent. And there's nothing to be afraid of by being honest with people. It's the most beautiful thing. People always want to work with the best, and people always want to work with people that are on the rise, right? At the same time, if you're a first-time home buyer or a first-time home seller, working with the best is probably the best idea. And it's probably a great idea to work with an experienced agent since they know the process, as opposed to having two people trying to figure it out along the way. That's just being honest. Now, at the same time, the people that have done well for themselves in their life and they want to give an opportunity to somebody, maybe the second, third, or fourth home seller, second, third, or fourth home buyer, people always root for an underdog if they see that underdog is serious and they see that that underdog wants to succeed. People are more inclined to give them an opportunity even over experienced agents. Trust me, it's happened before where I've had people say, hey, Andrew, obviously you're very successful and, you know, we all get our start somewhere. So I just want to let you know, even though you are definitely the person that can make some things happen, this is a new agent that's our friend or our family or whatever, and we really think that we need to give back. And I mean, that's kind of painful to me in some ways when that happens. At the same time, and when I'm being back and when I'm stepping back and take a breath, I'm like, you know what? Good on you. And that's knowing what I tell them is good on you for giving back, because we all get our start somewhere. And it's something that I used to always say to people whenever they were saying, well, you don't have any experience. Well, we all get our start somewhere. You didn't become successful until you were granted an opportunity to become successful. So, you know, I guess what really happens there, Windy City Girl, and I don't mean to go on such a long tangent in this episode about that, but the reality is that you just got to get out there and you just got to be serious. I mean, if you're committed to understanding the reasons why you're in real estate and you're committed to understanding what real estate's really about, it's not about making money, contrary to what people try to tell you. It's all about service and helping others. Forget about the commission. Commissions will take care of themselves if you're focused on the person that you're representing. All you need to do is listen and understand what's most important to somebody else and help people achieve the goals that they wish to have, and don't freak out and get stuck on a commission. Commission breath is very, very, very smelly, and to my knowledge, it causes a massive halitosis that can never get better despite any kind of Altoids or strong breath mints. Just, you see what I mean? But if you need some other additional help or something, just let me know. Reach out to me. Okay, so Matt Nelson says, thank you for your service. It's very inspiring how you made such a wonderful comeback. Thank you, Matt. Really, really appreciate that, and certainly appreciate that you're here with me moving forward. HONEYCOATEDful. Hey, Andrew, your future is bright in the business. You're definitely an example of how hard work pays off. Keep up the good work. You're truly blessed. You know, HONEYCOATEDful, I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you being here today. You're truly blessed too. Everybody watching right now and anybody that comes across the videos are all blessed. And why don't we bless each other? You know, as opposed to so much negativity out there in the world, let's all create positivity with everything that we do by cleansing ourselves from within and focusing on what we can do with an attitude of gratitude and a service mindset just to help somebody. At a minimum, my goal every single day is to make at least one person smile, make at least one person's day by maybe just being that person. If you really start thinking about how big this world is, it's so small, and yet we're so disconnected despite what, like over 8 billion people? Some of us, it's like we're so disconnected. I mean, what is it that if you saw a piece of trash on the street to pick it up and put it in a garbage can? What if it was giving somebody the grocery cart at the grocery store? What if it was simply opening a door for somebody and saying, hey, it's great to see you, glad you're here, and enjoy a wonderful day? It may not seem like it's other people, trust me, because I do it all the time. People are gonna be like, what? I'm like, yeah, I just want to say it was great to see you. No, I know we don't know each other or anything, but I wanted to let you know it was great to see you, and I hope you enjoy an amazing day. That person walks away like, oh, well, wow, my name is so-and-so. I'm like, my name is Andrew. And no, I'm not doing it from a business perspective. I rarely even tell somebody I'm a real estate agent in those instances. All I wanted to do, my whole goal was not to do it as a way to gain more business. It was a way to simply connect with another human being and hopefully in the core of their being, help them have a good day. And by doing that, it makes me feel good about what I do and how I approach things, and that I'm doing the right thing for other people. And that's really what it comes down to personally, at least for me. Gregory Robbins, really appreciate all the info. I have been watching you for 6 months or so. You should come out with some F.E.A.R t-shirts. I'd buy one. It's a really good point. I'm glad that you brought that up, Gregory. I was actually thinking, I know it's kind of funny, but I'm just being real with you here, okay? So this Sunday, you know, last Sunday was so much fun. I enjoy these live sessions probably more than anything because of the feedback that we get. And it's just fun knowing that we're all on at the same time. It's just, to me, it is a lot of fun to be here on these live sessions. So when you talk about that and what it has to do with your comment, Gregory Robbins, is I was thinking, oh, you know what? I'm working my way through like the third or fourth time of this book I'm listening to called Ho'oponopono by Joe Vitale. You might be like, oh, what? No, it wasn't a derogatory statement. It was Ho'oponopono, and it's a way of, it's a Hawaiian system of self-cleansing and purification, keeping your mind and your soul and your body right. No matter what you believe in, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in universe, whatever you believe in, it doesn't matter. Whatever you believe in, the foundation is true with something that's called Morna's Prayer, who came up with the system, which predates even The Secret, and The Secret references it whenever you watch The Secret. If you haven't watched The Secret, you might want to go back and check it out. They'll reference Ho'oponopono and Joe Vitale, awesome book. So essentially what it is, it's about focusing and self-cleansing. What you see in the world is what you also have within yourself. And what you see in the world is what you choose to see. So by first focusing on cleansing oneself, one can improve the world by cleansing oneself and cleansing one's mind. Anytime that you get those negative emotions, anytime that you get that negative feeling, going back to fear really being false evidence appearing real, this is the culmination of so many different books in my mind, like 389 books in my mind over the last 5 years, plus all the additional reading that I do off to the side. It's the culmination of all of that when I'm thinking, you know, at the end of the day, we're all people, and at the end of the day, we all have the same urges and the same primal instinct together as simply being humans. And we all experience fear. Now, the difference between people that are truly fearful and afraid and the person that moves forward is one thing, and that one thing is courage. Courage is not the absence of having fear. Courage is having the bravery to take a step forward. And when you have the courage to take a step forward, in the case of fear, the way I explained it on this channel, false evidence appearing real, that means that you're gaining insight. That means that you're getting knowledge, because with knowledge comes power, and with knowledge comes comfort and understanding. And as you have understanding, you have peace of mind. And when you have peace of mind, nobody gets in your way, and you're going to be massively successful in every aspect of your life, because you have peace of mind that has now brought you a whole different level of clarity, as opposed to running around in circles not knowing what's going on. Having peace of mind slows that circle down so that you can see it. So, you know what? I've been chasing my tail and I got nowhere fast. Now, if I'm going to do something, what I'm going to do is take a step forward in this direction, and I understand what I want to do is buy a home, sell a home, or whatever in life, right? Whenever I'm talking about fear, false evidence appearing real, anyone that takes that to heart and applies it to their life, it will surpass anything to do with real estate, because part of real estate is just our own personal legend and our own personal journey, which, by the way, is now going to be coming out of a book. When I talk about personal legend, that's going to a book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Awesome book. And in that book, one of the most powerful recurring messages was that the universe conspires, you know, for whatever you want to achieve, whatever you focus your attention on, the universe conspires with all of its being to help you achieve your end goal and what your goal is. Now, that goal can be objectionably, it can be good, bad, or indifferent. It depends on where you spend your time in your mind, and it depends on where you focus your energy at and what you're looking for. So, you know, if you have a whole bunch of negative thoughts, that's what you're going to get. If you have a whole bunch of positive thoughts and you're putting out positive energy, that's what you're going to get. So it's first important about cleansing oneself and keeping one's mind open. So Gregory Robbins, you know, hit on a very deep core point with that comment, false evidence appearing real. And yeah, you know what? If you know somebody that that knows how to make t-shirts, or somebody's watching right now knows how to make t-shirts or distributors or something like that, then, you know, why not? Why not? Let's do it. And let's figure it out together. So, all right. Anyways, let's move on. Thank you, by the way, Gregory Robbins. Okay, Janine Hoke was watching 4 tips for buying a damaged house. Janine says, thanks much, Andrew. I just got through negotiations on a home that had minor mold in the attic and utility room. Your video was right on time. You're awesome. Janine, I'm glad that that video was right on time for you. Again, because of everything going on with the natural disasters and stuff, I really thought that it would have been the right time, definitely. And I'm glad that it worked out for you in specific. And anyone else that watches that video, I'm glad that I'm glad that the thoughts going into that video were the right timing for everybody. So I'm glad that it helped you out. And by the way, you're awesome too, Janine. Thank you. So Cynthia Hunter had commented on the same episode, 4 tips for buying a damaged house. Cynthia says, I agree with Janine. The video is right on time. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm glad that it benefited you as well. We know from earlier with Liz T going through Hurricane Michael right now, that's going to definitely be something on the mind's eye of a lot of people after Hurricane Michael and anywhere else that's being devastated by not only hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, wildfires, what have you, right? So we know that that video should hopefully become very powerful to help put things in perspective for people. Bryn Witt was watching first-time homebuyers, first-time homebuyer tips, 17 that will change how you buy a house. He was talking about minute marker 5 minutes, 33 seconds. He said lots of laughs, Raymond. Yeah. So I was making random comments in the videos as I typically do. He thought one of them was funny and he called it out with the minute marker. So Bryn Witt, I'm glad that you enjoyed that video and thank you for watching it and commenting. Kalina Emerson was watching last minute credit checks before closing are real. And Kalina says, thanks. More lenders and even realtors need to share this information. Completely agree with you. They really should. It's very, very important to note that whenever you get ready to close on a house, a lender is going to do what's called a soft pull on your credit to recheck and make sure that you didn't open up any new credit, that your income and everything else is still the same. And if there's a big difference that causes an issue to your debt to income ratio, you can lose right before 3 days, generally 3 to 5 days before you close on a home, you could lose. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you keep everything exactly the same as what it was whenever you got your loan pre-approval letter, and then have open dialogue with your loan pre-approval local loan officer if there's any changes to your financial situation or anything that you're considering before you apply for credit, before you get credit, before you add new debt, before you even pay off any credit cards. You need to let them know because it really can mess things up. Okay, so then we had Nathaniel Johnson. Nathaniel Johnson was commenting on 7 ways home buyers frustrate real estate agents. Nathaniel's asking me, what is the song at the end of the video? And P.S. good informative videos. Nathaniel, thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed the episodes and the videos. And here's the deal. With that song, that's actually at the bottom of every single one of my episodes are disclaimers or credits as they need to be. That's done through Creative Commons licensing that YouTube has actually allowed from another creator. And that song is by Sin Cole called I'll Be There. And it's something that whenever I listen to, not only did I personally enjoy the beat and the sound of it and the harmony, I really enjoyed the words. I'm talking about I'll always be there, meaning that I, as a trusted real estate advisor, will always be there to help you make sense of the real estate process. And that's like my little creativity or whatever you want to talk about it. That's what was going through my mind. How can I communicate in a way that through song that kind of really shares the message of what my whole life is about, not only this profession, but my entire life is about, and it's just trying to help people. And that song really resonated with me. So I'm glad that you asked about it, but it would be all the way at the bottom of the show more description that are hyperlinked and annotated, okay? So Matt Nelson was watching pros and cons of a joint mortgage for first-time homebuyers. Matt says, brought up divorce and breakups. When my significant other and I split up, we had a joint lease on an apartment. Long story short, I ended up deciding to stay in the apartment and she moved out. My point is that it was a huge pain in the rear. I can't even imagine how much worse it would have been had we bought a house together. Excellent, great point, Matt. And that's why I wanted to make that video, because here's the reality. Most people are only married for 3 to 5 years. I mean, it's a statistic. It's an awful one, but it is a statistic, and that's just the reality. So if that's the case, then before people go out and get joint mortgages, they should also consider their future. Now, if they're very, very committed to each other, and hopefully, by the time you get married or you're in a seriously committed relationship, you are, but you also want to be extremely real with each other as a couple and extremely real with yourself. Most importantly, the worst lie that anything can ever happen in life, the worst lie of all, is a lie to yourself. And if you're thinking, oh, you know what, we're going to buy a home, we're going to have a baby, or we're going to do something like that, and it's going to make things better, no, it really doesn't. In fact, it'll often make it worse, because now you've added additional stressors into your life. So I'm glad that you brought that up, Matt, and I'm glad to hear that you're out of that situation and that you're moving forward with your life in a positive direction. But it is something that before you get jointly approved for a mortgage that people really should consider very carefully to make sure that it is the right decision for them. Okay. All right, Matt. It looks like you gave me a few more comments here. So what to look for when buying land, Matt says, the house I grew up in was built on what used to be a marsh. They drained the water into a pond in the center of the neighborhood. Then they left a little island with bridges. On the island was a neighborhood pool paid for by the HOA. Seemed really cool. Yeah, the basement flooded like 3 times. It was a finished basement. I woke up to find my parents yelling at me for sleeping through a flood. My cell phone and laptop were underwater, and I ended up doing the drywall that 3rd time around. Lots of laughs. Well, Matt, thank you for sharing your experiences. Yes, that what to look for when buying a land episode for anybody that's considering it, whether they're thinking about just buying it to build on at some point in the future, to have, or whatever purpose. It's a lot of information in that video that you should consider when buying land, and it goes into a lot of detail in that video. But thank you, Matt, for sharing your experience with us. And then Matt had commented on the 6 ways to protect your home before the next disaster. He says, make sure you back up the battery system for that sump pump in case the power goes out. And that's a great point. And that you make sure that the battery stays charged, especially if it's a lead acid marine type battery. They don't stay charged forever. Great points and great suggestions, Matt. Thank you for your tips on that. Matt Nelson commented again on 9 tips for filing insurance claims after disaster strikes. He says, all I did for homeowners insurance was call my insurance company and add a policy to my account. I had auto insurance through them. Should I do more? Yes, Matt, you should. So you need to actually probably go back and check out the video that I made for types of homeowners insurance and take a close listen to that and see how that applies to your situation. First thing that I would recommend that you do is get on the phone with your insurance agent and make sure that you have appropriate coverage. One of the coverages in specific that you want that is very, very, very important to have is different insurance companies call it different things, but it's a true replacement cost versus cash. You hear like cash replacement value and replacement cost, full replacement cost. Cash is a term, it's a semantic, and people go, yeah, cash is good, so I'll take that one. Well, at the end of the day, if something ever happened to your property, you just got screwed, and you screwed yourself, because the replacement cost is going to be the full-on brick for brick from the foundation up, rebuilding that property, whereas the cash approach is just going to be the cash needed to restore a certain subset of that property based upon the valuation at the time that you got the insurance. So there's a lot of different things going on there. I would definitely recommend that you reach out to your insurance agent to make sure you get it done. Again, number one suggestion is make sure you have a true 100% replacement cost. Also, some people just call it brick for brick replacement cost for your property if something ever happened, okay? So, you know, we've been going on for about 42 minutes. A lot of wonderful comments, a lot of wonderful things happening here today. Really appreciate the positive energy, and I'm hoping that you enjoy a wonderful day. To everybody that's in Hurricane Michael's way, we definitely wish you to be safe right now, and hope that everything goes well for you guys. I know that it's kind of interesting to say with the storm, but be safe. Truly be safe, and I hope that you guys are safe. Anyways, in between now and next time, I'm wishing you and yours a lifetime full of love, wealth, abundance, and happiness. Thank you for being here today, and enjoy a fantastic day.